So it is up to us, it is up to all of us to save the constitution, to save the country.
Youth will get spontaneous attractions because of your ideology.
Because of our ideology, because of what we are going to do, because of our vision.
Do you think that there are abundance of political youth talent? They should have a great connection with the grassroots.
I'll tell you a really good example.
Then why lots of youths are joining BJP? The validity of the Hindutva injections will be expired soon.
Of course, it will expire soon and people will realize that these injections are doing nothing but.
Now I am joined by Gaurav Jain, the big name in Youth Congress politics, National Youth Congress spokesperson, and he has come Assam for many purposes. But many thanks to you for creating space for Democracy Live, for putting questions. First of all, warm welcome to our conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Before going to main questions, main core part of our interview, I want to ask you, from joining in Congress till today, keeping what view you came to politics, keeping what view you came to Congress politics, and after getting such kind of positions till today, are you happy? Do you feel that you are successful in your aim that one day came to Congress politics?
Actually, I never really entered like officially into politics. When I was studying in London, so there were many groups. So there were many groups of students who were affiliated to different organizations. So we have a group of students who are affiliated to the Bahujan cause. We had a group of students who were affiliated to the leftist cause. We had a group of students who were affiliated to the Hindutva cause. But there was none who was committed to Congress. And keeping in mind that Congress party initially had people who studied abroad and had such a huge presence abroad, and then we had none presence of the students abroad in the universities in UK and all. So that's when I formed this organization called ISAO, Indian International Students and Alumni Union, and we had like right now we have members in more than 27 universities across the UK and Australia. So from there we started an informal organization, and then at that time only Rahul ji came to London and we hosted him in London School of Economics.
Which year it was?
It was 2018.
Okay.
So we hosted him and we felt like there was something about this person, like the way he talked about the politics, the way he talks about the policies.
Some visions he has.
He had vision. He had a vision of a united, secular, developing country, which like we are not able to see for past 6 years. So as of now, as we can see, India was supposed to be, there's a term called laissez-faire in French, which means that it should be a welfare state. Right now, it's not a welfare state. You're seeing like government is selling off the assets which we made in like 60 years, and what we are left with, nothing. You see the prices of everything. They're saying that the Indian government at present, it's the only government which first came with the demonetization concept, and now they're coming up with the national monetization concept. Just imagine how stupid is that. First you go for demonetization and then you go for monetization.
Means lots of foul played by this government.
Exactly. And nothing is coming out. There's no benefit which is coming out for students. There's no benefit which is coming out for, middle class or anyone. It's just like 5 or 6 cronies whose net worth is just keep on increasing. So when this corona was happening, 72% of the people in the informal sector lost their job. But at the same time, if you look at the wealth of Adani and Ambani, it grew by 236%. So where is that wealth coming from?
Okay, let me stop you. Means you want to say that the present ruling party or planning system creating lots of foul, and so you are happy that you are in a party which is run some ideology. Slow and steadily, I am coming to the main questions. And before going to the main questions, let me put another questions. What I want to ask next, second question is that how will you differentiate the present youth power position of Congress and BJP? BJP means the ruling party. Do you think that sufficient youth power in your youth category of Congress in comparison to BJP or the ruling party?
See, what BJP has, it's like a bunch of maniacs who are driven. Like if you look at Taliban, what they have a lot of youth power. But these are all brainwashed people. They do not believe in a single cause. They just believe in one cause, and that is, to suppress people, to suppress people's will, to suppress the freedom. In Congress, we have debate. In Congress, we have discussion. In Congress, On every policy, we have differing views, and everyone is allowed to,
Right.
everyone's views is respected. In BJP, you cannot say that, and that's the reason why BJP is so keen on changing the chief ministers. Even if BJP wins, they change their chief minister because they cannot see anyone with differing voices rising against them. So that is why you see an entire pattern. This is what the Nazis did. Like if you were in 1940s and the 1930s in Germany,
Yes.
this is what Hitler used to do. So right now BJP is just replicating that model. In Congress we have genuine opinion, we have genuine voices, and people might call it dissent, but we do not call it dissent, we call it democracy. And this is what democracy is meant for.
But in spite of doing all kinds of wrongdoings by this government, many youths get attracted to a political party. Now let me come to the next questions. Why youth will come to Congress? Few minutes back, you were addressing a press meet and you said that all over India you are going to raise the voice of the youth against the government. But why youth will come? You will be able to accumulate the voice of the youth in favor of oppositions against the government, because you know that youth is that kind of period in life where one youth wants to secure his future. He wants to a safe road toward the future, and it is very easy for youth to get attracted to a political party, because they see when a party is in power, they feel more chance, they feel more getting opportunity of chance that we will get employment or something like that, and spontaneously on that way they get attracted to a political party who is in power. But you are not in power in Assam, but in national politics, except toward some states in India. So on that context, how will you demand, how will you ask youth to come to your party, because you have no hope according to them, according to their view?
I'll just give you a small example. So I come from the state of UP. We have like 7 seats out of 400 in the legislative assembly, and we had like 8% of the vote share.
Yes.
But so this happened recently. What happened? So state government came up with the cancelled the exams of the students, and then they came up with a formula that everyone will get marks and students will be passed whatsoever. What happened? The BJP ruled government in many cities, like there were like 1,70,000 students. They failed to submit their marks to the board, because of which the students didn't get marks, and it's written XXX on their mark sheets. What we did, we didn't raise anything from the party. What we did, we just fought their case in the Allahabad High Court and got them relief. And the students saw like this is the party which is coming to us, even if it's not in power. They went to the BJP, they went to the SP, they went to the BSP. None of them can help them. We went to the High Court, we got them relief, and that's why even without campaigning, all those students are with us now. So our policies are pro people. If we are working for the people, people will just, it might take some while for them to realize, but we will be there. We will be there fighting for them. We will be there fighting for the country. We will be there fighting for the constitution, and that is our own belief.
Yes, from your point of view, you are right. You are doing the right things. I have already said that this government has been playing lots of foul, and so you want to those youth to come to your party. But my question is, why youth will come to a powerless party? How will you motivate? Because to a political party who is in power, they get a spontaneous attraction to get attracted to join, because from a party in power, they have the more chance to get lots of opportunities. They may get employment, they may get contract, or many other opportunities. But to a powerless party, why youth will get attracted?
There's a very good proverb in English which says you can fool some people for some time. You can fool a large number of people for some time, but you cannot fool a large number of people for a large amount of time. So what you're seeing, like they have done all their tricks. Now they're on a downslide, and that is the reason. If you look like during the COVID-2, this second wave,
yes,
when this entire country was suffering, the BJP leaders were touring different countries to see what the chief ministers reported, how badly is he gonna fare in the election. So they're on the verge. So that is why you see 8 of the BJP selected chief ministers are changed in last 6 months.
Right.
So they're seeing it now, and they might try to cover it up.
Realizing.
Yeah, they might try to cover it up by sponsoring news, and that's what I said. India's press freedom index, it moved down to 142, below Nigeria, below Pakistan, below Afghanistan. So you might realize in what danger the fourth institution of our democracy is in. So it is up to us, it is up to all of us to save the constitution, to save the country. And you might say the Congress is powerless now, but Congress was powerless in 1930s, Congress was powerless in 1940s. Still we fought the British, still we got the independence. So we might be powerless, but we are not spiritless, and we will fight and we will win.
Means you want to say that youth will get spontaneous attractions because of your ideology.
Because of our ideology, because of what we are going to do, because of our vision. Because at present BJP does not have a vision except for selling the country. We have vision. We created jobs. We had Nyaya scheme. We had so many schemes. We gave them NREGA. We gave them subsidies. We gave them scholarships. In this government, the scholarships are dead, the new universities are not coming up, and the universities which are coming up, there's this one university called Geo University which was given the grant of excellence on the first day, on the day of its inception, whereas different government universities are still waiting for them. So they're trying to destroy the structure through which they want the youth to be unemployed, and once the youth is unemployed, they can just use the hate and the entire emotional politics fall against them, and they can just cater to them that everyone, this person or this group is responsible for you not getting the job, or this person is responsible for everything which is going bad in your life. So they want the government, they want the people to be unemployed, they want the people to be jobless, they want people to be uneducated, and that's why their entire policy is like that. It's like the Talibanization of the country.
Yes.
Because what Taliban is doing the same. They're destroying the educational institution, they're destroying the entire academic scene in Afghanistan, because they don't want people to raise their voice. Once the people are educated, they have broader visions, and they will not be suppressed, and they cannot be suppressed. So this is why they're destroying the educational institutions. That's why they're going against the students.
Yes, means what you have been saying, but from your answers, I supposedly come to this conclusion that there are lots of regions in the country under which youth should have to come to Congress. That is the other point. Now coming to the point of Assam now. You have been working as a spokesperson for national politics. Do you think that there are abundance of political youth talent, because you are in the youth sections, abundance of youth talent in Assam regarding your Congress politics?
Of course, I mean, I should not lie, but I'm really new to this state. But yes, there are a lot of young talents in Assam, and there have been, like if you look at from 2004 to 2014, a lot of young leaders emerged from Assam and from Northeast as well. I might not name a few of them, but yes, this region has a lot of potential, because this region has never been infiltrated by the shadowy or this very narrow-minded Hindutva politics. It is only because now, because of the influence of people who are coming from outside the state, because of the influence of muscle and money power, that this thing is happening. But Northeast has always been liberal. And
exactly.
You cannot be liberal in BJP. Like liberalism and BJP do not go together. So that is why I hope that Northeast will be the first frontier which the BJP will lose.
Though you are new to Assam politics or Assam Youth Congress politics, do you think that about those informations that you have already, the Youth Congress cadres, Youth Congress leaders of Assam has been able to get youth attracted to your party here? Or what do you think that youth organizations should do to motivate youth to come to your party?
Essentially, I mean, we will be raising more of youth-centric issues now. So right now the main issues will be like unemployment and other things, like there are very small things which we will be raising, like the subsidies which are giving to the students, the scholarships, and the curriculum which is now being changed in every state, and students are protesting against it. So we will be raising those points. Whatever valid concerns the students have, whatever the valid concerns the youngsters have, we will be raising them, and that will be our sole means to connect to the youth.
Means your duty or Youth Congress duty not will be confined only to a press meet in Rajiv Bhavan. They should. Do you agree that for successful politics, what maybe the senior leaders or the junior leaders or youth leaders, they should have a great connection with the grassroots?
I'll tell you a really good example. So before this COVID thing happened, no one really knew who Srinivasji was. Like we knew inside the organization, but once the Youth Congress, like everyone applauded his work. From Times magazine to Australian embassy to New Zealand embassy, every major international newspaper, the Reuters was there, BBC was there. So we will be known by our work, the way which we did, the way our leader has shown us the way in Delhi. We will be replicating that in every state, every unit, every city. So that is our entire. We will be there for people, no matter how hard it comes to us. we are gonna be standing there with them.
And there should be a great connection with the grassroots
Exactly, yeah.
level. Now moving to the next questions. Probably it is my personal level also. I get puzzled somewhere watching some things. If it is true, the government is creating lots of fouls, lots of playing anti-national things as we have raised. Then why lots of youths are joining BJP? If they are creating, and you have already said me in my replying to my questions, that youths of India have realized also. But in spite of that realizations, why they are going to BJP?
So if you like break down this entire thing of BJP's youth, you will realize like there are 2 or 3 kinds of people who have recently joined youth. One who are really like who really don't know anything about politics, and they just have what you said, their personal things done. The second are those who are deeply ingrained with the Hindutva ideology or any form of extremism.
They have been successful to inject the Hindutva nature to youths.
Exactly, they have been successful.
And that means your party is failed to motivate youth against those Hindutva injection.
Not failed. I mean, we should have been. This was something which they have been working for 70 years. This is nothing. They managed to kill Mahatma Gandhi, and they have been planning this since 1930s, since the inception of Hindu Mahasabha and all. So it has been a long process. It is now only that it came to fruition. So we cannot blame like what happened in 5 or 10 years. It was a long battle, and we had always won. This is just a small thing. Like this is a small hiccup, and
sudden smoke.
A bit of
means you want to say that the validity of the Hindutva injections will be expired soon?
Of course, it will expire soon, and people will realize that these injections are doing nothing but just harming their body. So that is why people will just throw away the injection and boycott it.
And to make you to realize you are doing all India or national level. So being such in a great positions as a spokespersons, what may be a duties or what may be the responsibility, and after joining in your party, after getting this spokesperson post, do you think that you are you have justified your to your positions?
I try to. I mean, there are a lot of times where like if there are, so sometimes I have to be in my hometown, and then other day in Delhi. So
from UP you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I try my best to do, and our leaders inspire us to work all the time. So we try our best. So we have like a lot of talent in the youth. So we have Mumtaz ji as well from Assam. She's been taking charge of the entire state Young India ke poll, and she's been reaching out to different leaders on the different levels and meetings. So this is how we work. So I will like Ajay ji was here and Kamrul ji was here. So all together we're like a family, and we're trying to expand more and more and more. So this is how
you are justifying to your position, or you are to that responsibility that given to you. Okay, coming to our conclusions with 3 or 4 questions. Replying to my questions in my previous questions, in the beginning questions, you said that you were in London where you met. You were in London means you are a very talented persons. So do you think that talented persons, talented youth should take a risk to join politics, watching the scenario of such kind of present politics?
Because if the people who are who are educated, and if they do not come into politics, that means the people who are not that much educated, and people who are narrow-minded, or people who do not believe in the idea of India, they will come to power, and they will take center stage, and they will make such policies that the people who believe in these policies will have to leave the country. So to protect them, I think everyone who believes in the idea of India, in the constitution of India, should come forward and fight these forces who are hell-bent on destroying the country.
And you are already answering my questions, but in spite of that I am going to repeat that questions. Youth is that period of life, every youth want to secure their future. Every youth wants a safe road towards future. After joining politics in their youth, I am saying about those talented youths, it's not a spoil of time. Livelihood and politics, does it possible to move in a parallel way?
I mean, for me it is possible because I'm a lawyer, so I keep raising these issues, and
so lots of lawyers in
that is why you will see
in politics.
You will see a lot of lawyers, but Apart from that, it's not just restricted to lawyers. Like people can, I know a lot of people who
From other field also.
yeah, from civil servants. So we have Ajay Kumarji, who was a former IPS and now he's the in charge of several northeastern states. We have like Manish Shankar Ayyarji. He was the IFS officer and then he joined politics. Manmohan Singh ji, he was an economist and then he joined politics. So in Congress, in Chidambaram ji, like we have so much of talent in people. These are just not focused, like they have their own practice, they have their own professional, and that is why we even have a dedicated professional Congress wing. So we do not want people that just do politics every day and wear kurta pajama and just do nothing like BJP. We want professionals who have their
Okay.
own ideas and
Okay, let me conclude with these questions. Sitting in Rajiv Bhavan in Guwahati, I don't know whether it will be legitimate questions for you, but if I don't ask, people will say that I have done some selfish to this interview. But in spite of that, to maintain the neutrality of my interview, of our Democracy Live journalism, I must have to ask, do you think that in Congress, whether it is Youth Congress, whether it is Senior Congress, space for talent, lots of talented youth or talented leaders in your party. Do you think that party has justified to all those talent according to their talent?
Party, you see, party is a really big organization and we always try to justify. So like in 2009 when we made when the UPA2 had so many young ministers in the union ministry. So a lot of people were like, you're just sidelining the seniors. So people will say something like, लोगों का काम है कहना, आप अगर आप seniors को आगे ले जाएंगे, so they will like you're ignoring the youngsters. If you're taking youngsters, so they'll say you're ignoring the seniors. So they will say anything, they'll say something or the other, no matter what. But yeah, we will be giving more charges to the youngsters, and this is why this all talented program is going on, to bring more youngsters to the politics, to make more youngsters join the organization.
And you will assure us in this interview that if any talented youth comes or want to join, I am saying about the Assam, join your party, you are going to, or your Kamrul, it may be Kamrul or it may be other top leaders, will give them real space to do according to their talent. You are going to use their talent,
Of course.
but they won't be given a feelings of useless.
So again, I will give you an example. So Srinivasji, the national president, he had no family background of politics. He comes from a lower middle class family. He didn't speak Hindi. He didn't speak English. He was like just speaking Kannada and bit fluent in English or Hindi. So he started as the NSUI general secretary of the district, and because he kept on working, because party recognized his talent, he subsequently came to a lot of position. Now he's in everyone knows him. So it's not that party doesn't recognize talent. Party always gives space. It's just sometimes talent wants something really fast and
it depends on that certain person also.
Exactly.
And to conclude this interview, though you are from Youth Congress, your recent APCC President Bhupen Bora has completed 50 days. We have already completed an interview with him also, and he said that he was so satisfied with the party that in the 50 days he has got lots of support from all over the party. How do you want to congratulate about his successful completion of 50 days? And what I want to, I don't hesitate to phrase on camera Mr. Bhupen Kumar Bora, because he has brought a new culture. What culture is that? Before I said that in Congress politics in Assam or something like that, I am the only leader. But under his regime, 50 days of, I have seen that he has been giving lots of space to all of, he has been utilizing the talent, utilizing the experience of the leaders. That is a good sign of leaders. How do you like to congratulate him for his successful completion of 50 days?
It's a really good start. It's a really good start, and giving more space to youngsters, I think it's the way forward, and that is the model I think we should be replicating in every other state unit.
And at the last, for Youth Congress President, he's saying, but I will also get interview with him. How will you mark him about his last tenure? He has been doing lots of good work.
He's been doing it.
In spite of getting no ticket in the last elections, he has been fighting for his party.
No, he's been doing a tremendous work. Like, I'm from Delhi, but I heard about him in Delhi itself, that he's been working really hard. And tickets might you know, you cannot just guarantee, because I don't know about ticket distribution and all. But I know that in party.
But he is a capable youth leader.
Of course, he is a capable youth leader, and I know party will one day or the other they will recognize your talent. Like no matter like whatever amount of work you do in a party, it's always recognized, it's always notified, and whenever your time comes, I think it will be there.
Okay, and last one appeal to the youth of Assam from your party. You can say anything that come to your party or something like that.
Namaskar everyone. So I'm here in Assam and I'm here to launch this competition called Young India Ke Bol. This is for every youngster who want to participate, who want to raise their voice against the the shortcomings of the government, against if he feels whatever he's been trying to say for past 6 years, but his voice has been suppressed. So please come forward. There's a link on which you can just scan, and then you will be taken to a web page where you can register yourself. And we are looking for talent who can speak really well. So it will be a district level competition, from where you will be selected for the state, and if you're really good, then you will be called to Delhi and you will be made the national spokesperson for the Youth Congress. So please come forward, share this as much as possible, and that's it. Jai Hind.
And that is Mr. Gaurav Jain, the big name in Youth Congress politics in India. And thank you so much for giving space for creating such kind of valuable conversations. I'm very happy for answering on such a big talent.
Yeah.
I think keeping you as an idol, lots of youth will get attracted to your party, and many congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And I think in coming days you will raise top of the post in politics. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
and that is
much.
Mr. Gaurav Jain. With that note, concluded this interview. Thank you.